right, here we are in this best of three series. This is played out in the winner brackets final of the Alpha Navigators Cup number 26. This is going to be between Scan in our blue Vanguard here and MSRM in the red Infernal. And MSRM is the winner of the last weekly tournament, number 24, 2 weeks ago. And he's hoping to defend his title here today. So far on a pretty good tear, having not dropped a map yet. And we see him opening Shrine first, which is not very common. I haven't seen that with a lot of others, but it is something that I've seen MSRM be doing quite a lot lately. So this is typical for him, but maybe not typical for other Infernals. And Scan, I think as I maybe mentioned before, this is his first time appearing in the Alpha Navigators Cup. And having won a few matches has already earned himself a position in the Season 2 finals. But is just hoping to up that seed by beating MSRM here and continuing on. Maybe even winning this week. His first week in, if he were to win, that would be a great show. But MSRM definitely wants to make that hard on him. And this puppy dog right now is trying to get some damage on this Therium Mining Imp, but the Imp's turn to fight. And eventually the dog needs to retreat. Now there is a healing cabbage right over here. Hey, the Jerboa. Oh, that little Jerboa was trying to get in the way. Says that's my healing cabbage. But yeah, the pup goes and heals up and he comes back to be annoying again. He finds that weak imp, but now all the imps turn to fight. Says, stay away from my cousin. A couple of gaunts pop out and they're going to be annoying. We do see that MSRM's Hexen is still out on the map and she's made it over to Scan's base, has scouted that it was command post first and sees that there is a Rax down, is trying to be annoying back. Say, hey, you put damage on my imp, so I'm going to put some damage on your Bob. And he does launch himself back. It looks like he went back to his natural here. And it looks like MSRM's going to now do some creeping on the low ground. Okay, some positioning of the gaunts. Alright, I like this. This is a good creeping style. Although, okay, he changed his mind, I guess. Okay, I'm not sure why he pulled out after initially triggering that. Interestingly, the tanking still worked for all three, so maybe he's just doing that so that, yeah, he can walk his gaunts back at the end as needed a little bit easier. Oh, I see. Thanks, Flipbuster. He got on Shroud. He walked back to his Shroud. That makes more sense. Indeed. Okay. That way he got that regen on his white health. Little things like that really make these players, you know, the best in the world, is every little bit counts when you're at the top of your game like these players. And now MSRM adding a couple more gaunts and is now going to creep his speed camp, whereas what do we got here? Oh, it is mech. We got hedgies coming out here. We don't have any yet, but they are rallied to the pup. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get some hedgehog play out of Scan. And yeah, we got it. It's Gaunts. It's gonna be Gaunts versus Hedgehogs. I'm not really sure how that works out. Now remember, Hedgehogs do not do bonus damage versus Gaunts, so that's good, at least in this favor. But Gaunts are pretty squishy. And maybe without Reaper's Rush, they're not necessarily going to be fast enough to chase any down. But we do have Plague Raxes on the way, and we're already at tier 2. And bing bang boom, here we go. This is going to be our first Plague Axe drop, so some of you in the chat were already calling this earlier. Maybe there's going to be some Gaunt drops, and sure enough, MSRM is sticking to this. It's almost all of his initial Gaunts, so he must have this really planned out well. All of his initial Gaunts are in this Harbinger. He spent all of his Therium on these Gaunts, this Harbinger, and the Plague Axe's upgrade. I guess, and the tier 2 upgrade. Ooh, but he's going to... Oh, so he intentionally comes down on top of the speed camp and almost captures it, but the Hedgehogs try and come in and block it. He does drop down again. Wow, very nice microplay, but unfortunately not able to capture the speed cap like he wanted, and also telegraphing his drop. So maybe not exactly the best play. He hoped he could get some advantage there. Now it's just going to be Gaunts facing off against Hedgehogs, and I don't know how I like this, but the Gaunts, woo, getting one of the Hedgehogs, getting another one. Now there's some Fiends on the map there. The Gaunts trying to retreat back to the Shroud created by their Harbinger, and ooh, they drop right on top of those Hedgehogs again. The Hedgehog's managing to get some focus fire down and trying to do some drop micro here, being able to get on top of these more mobile units. But we see the Hedgehogs are able to clean up a lot of those Gaunts. There's only 3 left in the drop. They try to go to the low ground. There's nothing there. And then msrm decides, I'm going to beam me home, Scotty. And teleports the whole Harbinger back. Loading up now with a Brute and some Gaunts. There's another Harbinger there with more Gaunts. And staying committed to this. Flying across. Now the Hedgehogs clean out the healing camp. I might almost want to keep them hanging out there if I knew what was coming, but no, they're actually moving across the map. Oh, they're going to take the vision camp. And is there anything back home? There is now a sentry post here. But here comes the double drop. Oh, there's a Hornet out. Now, I don't think the Hornet really kills Harbingers fast. And right into the mineral line and the Bob's turn to fight. This is not necessarily good. That means they become priority targets for the units, so they don't have to be necessarily focus fired down. A nice pickup and drop down by one of the Harbingers. Again, just trying to get on top of the Hedgehogs. And while they're in the air there, the Hedgehogs cannot focus fire unless they siege up on the drop. So good micro so far, but again, I think this one is going to get cleaned up. Oh, right at the last minute, dropping down, trying to kill the the Hornet so that they can get away. But no, the Hornet's with a promote. It looks like is able to stay alive. Actually, sorry, no, it went down there right at the last minute there. And the Harbinger, that's so low, 17. Like, yeah, what are you trying to do here, msrm? Just teleport home. The other one is, maybe it's on cooldown. Maybe this is the one that teleported already. So I'm not sure if he's getting the damage he wants or needs. And, oh, no. Are they going to get a shot off? No. Interesting. Just trying to micro and kill that weak Harbinger. He's only at 46. The other Harbinger has gone and rendezvoused with the rest of the army here. And they're trying to do some more creeping. And yeah, again, still trying to chase this down. But not sieging up. Here comes the rest of the army. And we do see 2 megs loaded up in this one Harbinger. So it doesn't look like much to the Hedgehogs right now. I think he's trying to lure the Hedgehogs into sieging up. It's basically saying, all I've got is air here. Please siege up. And as soon as you do, I'll drop all these nasty guys on top of you. The Megs still in there. Okay, they dropped down. Okay, they're picked up right up again. And now there's a battle here. All these units behind the wall. And trying to drop on top, and he does. He gets them out, and there goes the trample with the Demon Hoof Tremors. We see the stomps. There is a Buzzsaw turret there. It's getting repaired. A lot of Bobs on auto repair. And we see that there has been some bio added. There are Lancers here as well. But still this drop play. Another Mag getting dropped down on top of the bio, while these other ones flank from the side with their trample on. We see stuns going down, lots of damage being dealt here. Is that Buzzsaw Tech Cannon ever going to die? Indeed it does. There's 4 different mags in here, and that's going to be a GG out of scan in game number 1. Okay, here we are in the second game of this best of 3. msrm here in the Blue Infernal. Victor in that last game with some drop play. And his opponent, Scan, in the Red Vanguard, hoping to take a game off. That was the first map he lost today, and is hoping to take a map off of msrm to force this into a final game. And already we got some nice scout harass, taking some damage off of the Hexed, and also trying to delay that imp. Here the imp does manage to get Shrine first again. So again, we're seeing that same build out of msrm. Shrine first. And wow, Scan deciding no, I'm doing double rack. And was able to deny the scout out of msrm. So msrm doesn't necessarily know that there's going to be some more heavy unit play. Now remember, last game, they both went basically eco. They both went Shrine first and Command Post first. And the dog, again, being able to deny the Hexen from getting over onto the side of the map by just being annoying to her, means that msrm is going to have to guess what build is coming out of Scan. He could send a Skull. And I think it's something that early game Infernal might be doing more and more as they realize that when this scout is denied, you know, maybe there can be some shenanigans you wanna see. Although I don't think the Vanguard build order is necessarily as dangerous as, say, trying to scout out a Celestial, make sure they're not going fast Seraphim or fast tier 3, or that Fate's Edge rush, things like that. But we do see 3 pups out on the map already. And oh, msrm's trying to creep these from the high ground. And Scan says, nope, no. These are mine. They're gonna come aggro on my dogs. One of his dogs going in for a scout. msrm saying, please let me creep these units here. You'll notice one thing that you don't do when you creep these units is fire a skull onto one of them. And that's because if you do get a Fiend, these Shadow Masses will immediately focus it down, so you don't actually get the Fiend. So you usually will wait. Oh, the dogs managed to get on the high ground trying to mess with this creeping. I kind of like that. And these dogs are a much better choice of tech over, I think, the Hedgehogs of last game, because the Gaunts are weak to them, and we see 2 Lancers join too. So they're like dogs. They do that DPS, but they're so tanky as well. It looks like msrm is not afraid of that army and says, I'm going to try and get on top of you. I think his goal was just to maybe kill those dogs, not the Lancers necessarily. And we don't yet see our Plague Axes out, but let's see, do we have a Ritual Chamber? Don't see one. Okay. Oh, actually, we went fast tier 2 and we're straight into a Twilight Spire. I think this is just the same build. That's not for Sprigs, that's for a Harbinger. But this is a pretty nasty looking force. Managed to get a skull on one of the pups, but because he's in the healing camp, definitely going to out-heal the DPS of the Infest, so no risk there. It's just the vision, really, that they're getting. And an interesting position for that Shroud Stone right in the middle of the mineral line. That will mess with harvesting a little bit. But so far this army has not been super aggressive, other than trying to rush in there and get on top of the Gaunts while they were creeping. And there has not been a Lumber Imp sent yet, so there is no gap in the back. Alright, we got a Biokinetic Flare, and we do see Kinetic Redirect being researched for the Lancers. It looks like we must have lost a pup there. I thought we had 4 before, and we only... Oh, there he is. There's the other one. So it's more just good army control for Scan to split some of his units off and have them form different roles. So this pup here is holding this camp. The Skull tried to take it, but could not. Now Skulls can take camps. Alright, here we go with the drop. And is the drop spotted? Yes, the drop was spotted. So these units come home. But the Gaunts drop right on top. Do they focus fire down? No. We got mass repair already. Good response. Trying to get the dogs. Can they get a dog? Nope. Again, very nice micro from both players here. And now they're going to try and get on the high ground. Of course they are. Try and get on these Therium miners. Ooh, he's not looking. Gets down, gets a shot off, kills a dog, and gets out of there. And sort of microing these gaunts almost like they're tanks, letting them drop down and take a shot and then lift them back up. And we do see some pups over here. I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but let's try and keep an eye on that. Getting into the healing camp. The Lancer's getting right on top. And they can't capture the camp as long as the Harbinger's there. And still trying to micro this like a tank. Get some shots off. And wow, Scan microing his weak units back. So he's not going to let him get some free kills here. And it looks like one Gaunt went down there. And so did one Lancer. So at the end there's some losses for both. And more Lancers coming out onto the map. While these Gaunts are really trying to get in there and do some damage. Now one of the benefits of this drop play is he's keeping all these Lancers at home. These Lancers could be really nasty if they just march across the map and were in the imp line, for instance, but the drop is keeping them here. And unfortunately, Scan is running back and forth with these units. These dogs here still just chilling. And now the drop play is going to retreat, at least for the moment. Probably just regroup and reposition. If I can expect what we got from msrm last game, there's probably another drop about to load up and come join. Ooh, we see, actually, it's Spriggans. It's Spriggans what is the follow-up. So we do see a Shadow Cleft going down and some more Twilight Spires. Bye-bye, Scout Puppy. Here's another Scout Dog trying to scout the potential 4th base. Oh, my bad. There's a drop going on down here. Looks like one Gaunt went down and maybe that was an Exo. Who knows? It's just guts. Like, that's all I can tell here. And we are seeing that Harbinger is getting pretty low. You might want to go soak in the healing camp for a minute. And the 3rd base being put down by Scan. I thought I saw the Harbinger. Did it teleport its way back? Where did you go? Oh, here it is. Here it is. It did teleport its way back. And some speedy megs here. One Scout Dog gets taken out. And this is going to be a quick clear. These are still tier 1, so no one's cleared this vision camp yet. And likewise up here, we now have Scan clearing this camp. He's got a nice little Bioforce here. Do we have, yeah, we have all our upgrades, or all of our earlier upgrades, not up to the tier 3 yet. And this Mag is just doing some tanking here on the Shroud so that he's getting that regeneration. So doing a pretty good job of tanking. Only taking a little bit of real health damage. And now we see Spriggans out on the map while a 4th base, a forward 4th base is being taken. There's a Hornet, and the Hornet is a good counter to these Spriggans. But you're going to need more than one unless it's on top of a repair turret or has a bunch of repairing bobs under it. Now we see the Spriggans try and get on top. And they're going to try and kill the Exos. We see that Scan swapped out the Buzzsaw turret for a flat cannon. And now msrm is just trying to do some damage to the production. He's getting on top of the Exos, trying to kill them, and managing to kill them, but taking a lot of fire from the Hornet. And the Hornet does kind of shred Sprigs, so a couple Sprigs going down as well. But I think he's just hoping that if he can kill off all the anti-air, he might have free reign here, but no, it's not enough. He killed a good number of Exos, which is some pretty good trades, I think, in terms of just resource costs. Because there was only a single Hornet there. Kind of need a few more. Now he's moving in with his whole army here, trying to get on top of this sentry post. Dropping down some Gaunts ahead, taking out the Hornet, that's big. And now the rest of this ground army is going to run in. There are still more Exos. Here comes another Hornet as well. But there's a Magmadon, and he's tromping. He does have the Demon Hoof Tremors on, stunning all these Lancers, doing so much AoE damage to them. The Effigy gets taken out, although there is Shroud created from the Harbinger. And a few of these Gaunts chasing the only remaining Exo's back. The Bob's having to mineral walk through that army. A lot of them getting infested and taken out. Meanwhile, the army back here is just trying to clean up this base. A few Fiends get through, and now there are some Vulcans. This could be a pretty good answer. It might be able to turn back some of these tier 1 units. There are still Mags, though. They jump jet through and try and focus down a Mag, but the Mags get on top of them, and with those Demon Hoof Tremors manage to stun them and take them out. There's just too much here for MSRM. This looks like it's going to be it. There is a last stand here around the flat cannon. There are a few bio units popping out. But that's GG out of scan, and MSRM advances to the grand finals.